What's going on, guys? My name is Colin Klein, and welcome back to another dinosaur, well, not unboxing, but review. Of course, this is going to be a little different because this is going to be with a dinosaur that I've already unboxed months ago. So this is the Hammond Collection Stegosaurus, which is from the Jurassic World Hammond Collection line. Yeah, I know that I usually unbox dinosaurs from the packaging, but I was definitely thinking about doing something different, like showcasing some dinosaurs that I already have in my collection. Plus, I have plenty to review right now, so I don't really want to bother collecting other dinosaurs just yet. I mean, I do plan on collecting like the Hammond Collection Sinoceratops. It actually looks pretty good compared to the rest of the wave of Hammond Collection figures. But of course, it's probably best that I just go off of what I have for now and just make videos with whatever I can. So that's basically what I'm gonna do. So basically enough banter. Let's get into the video here. So before we even get into the figure itself, so I'm gonna scooch this aside for now. Let's get into the box, which looks pretty awesome. Now, the new Hammond Collection boxes look pretty awesome, but like from the front here, we have the Stegosaurus concept picture here, and of course the Jurassic World logo, and the words that are written Jurassic World Hammond Collection, and of course Stegosaurus right there. And of course we got the side of the box with the silhouette of John Hammond and that amber pendant that he usually has on his cane. But I do really like the back of the box, where they show the figure in all these unique poses, like I've shown in my Spinosaurus review, with, where the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus's box has all the unique poses of the Spinosaurus. And as you can see, you can see all the unique poses that you can put the Stegosaurus in, which I don't know if I could have done, by the way, especially with that tail thing right there. And it also shows a description of the Stegosaurus in the film, which it first appeared, and this figure is based on, from the movie The Lost World Jurassic Park. So it says right here, admiring the distinctive plates and spiked tail, Dr. Sarah Harding comes up close to a young Stegosaurus. While trying to capture a photo, the noise from her camera causes the Stegosaurus herd to go on the attack. So, and you probably know the rest if you watch The Lost World Jurassic Park. Basically, she arouses the anger of the herd of Stegosauruses, and then they try to impale her on their thagomizers. And she even ducks for cover under a log where one of the Stegosaurus's tail spikes digs into it and nearly impales her. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite scenes in The Lost World Jurassic Park, especially that one scene where Ian Malcolm and the gang sees a herd of Stegosauruses traveling through a clearing. And of course, Ian says his famous words, "I know, ooh, ah." Yeah, that's how it usually starts, but then later there's running and screaming. Now it's time to review the figure itself, of course. Now, I gotta say, this is a pretty well done Stegosaurus compared to others that Mattel has made. So, I like to get into the paint aspects. I really like how the head is sculpted here, with the dry brushing on the back here with all the dark green mixed with the brown from the plates and stuff. And then we have some counter shading of the light green at the bottom and at the belly there. And it looks like at the side of the torso here we had a bit of dry brushing of some dark brown. And I gotta say, I really like how it transitions from light green to dark brown from the top right here. And much of the figure is made of hard plastic, but the plates here are made of a very flexible rubber. So you can bend them with ease. And the tail here is made of a very is made of a very flexible rubber and has a bendy wire, which I'll get into once we get into the flexibility of the figure and how many poses you can put it in. And also with the face, I really like how that glass eye doesn't really have that aspect where it moves at the, oh, what do you call it? Moves when you turn it a certain angle. No, it looks like the pupil is fixed. Compared to any other Hammond collection figure like the Spinosaurus or the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Giganotosaurus. I know lately the Hammond collection has been settling for the glass eye on almost all their figures, but it didn't really work out too well for most of them. But it definitely worked out well for this figure, and of course the Spinosaurus. And lastly, let's look at the toes, right here. Of course, they're painted in this nice gray texture. And the tail here, my favorite part of the figure. And the spikes here are also very flexible, as well as the tail plates. But enough about that. Let's get into the joints of the figure here. So when it comes to the flexibility of this figure, let's start from the head to the tail. So you can definitely put the head from side to side here, or make it look up and down, well, up slightly, and then down pretty far, as if you want to pose it grazing in some of your photos or videos. Like, I don't know how this would do in a stop motion, but yeah, it looks pretty nice. But one of my main gripes with the head is that, like the Hammond Collection Triceratops, they didn't put like a flexible joint for the mouth. So basically the mouth can't open and close. It's just permanently fixed. Like, it's kind of a missed opportunity, but I guess I might understand because it might be a very small jaw hinge where it could easily pop out. But of course they probably could have done something like with the Sinoceratops, like with two versions of the mouth, one phase which is closed and another where it's open. But enough about the head and neck. Let's go to the legs here. So you can stretch out the legs pretty far here and swivel the ankle around. And also, oh, I gave him a broken leg. Oh crap, don't want that. But I kind of like it in this position here. And you can, I guess you can't, I guess the front legs can't go in 360 degrees. But let's see if the head can. Yep, it very well can. I can definitely break its neck. And so can at the head joint. And let's get into the hind limbs here. You can also put it out as if it were running or stampeding, may I say. Or put it with your other Hammond Collection dinosaurs and make like a giant dinosaur stampede. Let's see if it can go 360 degrees. I never tried it, but it can't. But the hind limbs ratchet into place while the forelimbs, they don't really have any restrictions, but the hind limbs definitely do, which definitely works pretty well if you want to put your Stegosaurus into into like a reared up position, maybe if you had some sticky tack and wanted to make it stand up like so. But enough about the legs. Let's get into the tail, my favorite part of the figure. Now, you can turn it, this part, 360 degrees, and the tail has a bendy wire in it, as I said before, and it's made of a very flexible rubber, so you can bend it from side to side, although it does have some restrictions. But I would like to show you later on the amount of poses I can put it into. And, man. So basically, you can act like it's swinging at a theropod, like Allosaurus, for instance, which is a type of a dinosaur that Stegosaurus actually lived with and fought with. So, little facts about Stegosaurus. Well, that's one fact about the Stegosaurus, which I'll get into later, of course. But while I put it into the Stegosaurus into a very unique pose for you guys, I guess I'll tell you some facts about the Stegosaurus. Now, without further ado, I'd like to get into some facts about the Stegosaurus, some of which you might not know, and some of what you might know about the Stegosaurus. So, undoubtedly, the Stegosaurus is probably one of the most famous dinosaurs ever discovered, besides Triceratops and Tyrannosaurus Rex. Its name means roof lizard, because it was once thought that its plates lined its back like that of a roof, kind of like, shingles on a roof. And in earlier descriptions, which I'll put up in the left-hand corner, Stegosaurus looks a lot different than the description that from what we know of it now. And I gotta say, many dinosaurs in paleontology changed over time as we gained a more of a proper understanding of what they looked like. So, Stegosaurus was first discovered in 1877 by the famous paleontologist Othniel Charles Marsh. It was discovered in the Morrison Formation of Colorado. Its fossils date back to the Jurassic period, about 150 million years ago, and it lived with other dinosaurs such as Diplodocus, Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus, and Camarasaurus, which are all sauropods, or the long-necked variety of dinosaurs, and also lived with ornithopods such as Camptosaurus and Dryosaurus, and predators such as Torvosaurus, Ceratosaurus, and of course the famous Allosaurus, which we do have fossil evidence that shows Stegosaurus and Allosaurus having run-ins with each other, like the fossil of a plate that was bitten into by an Allosaurus, and of course an Allosaurus vertebra and a pubis that was punctured by a Stegosaurus thagomizer. So imagine that, being punctured in the pubis bone. That has to be the most unfortunate way to go out. Basically, you ended the Allosaurus and its bloodline at the same time. Okay, enough of the jokes. So to end things off, let's end it off by comparing our Stegosaurus here with other figures I have in my collection, starting with another dinosaur that was featured in the Lost World Jurassic Park, the Pachycephalosaurus. Oh, of course, and I almost forgot, it would also be appropriate to put the Parasaurolophus right next to the Stegosaurus, since it was also featured in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Much more heavily than in the first film, because we did see the Parasaurolophus in the first film, but much more in the second film. And also to show you what size range the Stegosaurus falls into, here's the Hammond collection Therizinosaurus. Oh, it's probably too tall. My bad there. So, with the Therizinosaurus, the Stegosaurus kind of falls into the same size range, as well as the Carnotaurus and Allosaurus. So, there you go with that size range. And here's the beast of the Mesozoic Xenoceratops right next to the Stegosaurus. Thought it would be appropriate to put another awesome line of dinosaur figures next to a Hammond collection figures, because I do recommend getting the beasts of the Mesozoic. They definitely, because these figures are portrayed to be scientifically accurate, basically to our modern standards. So yeah, these figures are very heavily detailed. So yeah, as I said, I heavily recommend it. And of course, it also seems appropriate to put the Hammond collection Spinosaurus next to the Stegosaurus here, since they both were released in the same line as each other. And I gotta say, the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus has to be my favorite Hammond Collection figure in the entire Hammond collection. And I gotta say, Mattel definitely knocked it out of the park with this one here. Of course, the Stegosaurus probably would have had a little more potential if it had a movable jaw, but I gotta say, this Spinosaurus here definitely takes the cake for Hammond Collection, for the Hammond Collection in 2025. And of course, it also seems appropriate to compare it to other Stegosauruses I have in my collection. So this one has a bit of cobweb on it. I guess I haven't used these in a little while, but these are some other Stegosauruses. This is the what's it called? I know that Mattel released the first version back in 2018 with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, but I guess I know it has like a tail feature where you press this button here and its tail moves, and this is another variant that was released during the Dino Escape era of 2021, and it had some capture gear on it where you can just shake off with its tail, and that's that, of course. And of course, last but certainly not least, here's a nice little group shot of Stegosaurus with other dinosaurs that lived with it in the Morrison Formation. So we got Ornitholestes right here, Ceratosaurus, and Allosaurus. So overall, the Stegosaurus is quite a unique addition to the Hammond collection. I gotta say, I kind of was bummed the whole video because it didn't have like this movable jaw. That's one thing that bummed me out about this figure, but overall it has some really good poses that you can put it in. It works really well for photography and even stop motion for that matter. And if you want to, and of course if you want to get one of your own, you can buy it at Target or even on Amazon, Entertainment Earth. Basically any place that harbors this thing, you might find it. So I'm really glad that I made this video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave it a like and subscribe if you wish, and I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll make more dinosaur videos like this in the future with figures that I have. And with any requests, I guess maybe with a little help from you guys, maybe I can make some more videos like this in the future. Maybe request some dinosaurs that you want me to review. But until then, God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, guys.